This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, hi all. So my name is Amir. I'm having around 8 years of experience in automation as well as manual, and I'm working as a test architect for Tosca. And I worked on different kind of testing like UI testing, database testing, API testing, and we have done the integration with different tools. Okay, so I will quickly start with the Tosca, what is Tosca all about, and what are the pros and cons we have in Tosca. Okay, so let me start. So, what is Tosca? Tosca, the full form of Tosca is topology, and is my screen visible to you?
No,
No,
Okay, let me reshare it again.
you're now visible.
Okay, so orchestration specification for cloud applications. Okay, so this is the full form of Tosca, and we will see what are the pros and cons of this one. Okay, so the first will be multiple features like in single tools, like you can go for the dex run. Dex run is a agent machine configuration in which you can, through server, you can trigger to the multiple machines. Okay, that is called as a dex run. And then we have another feature with integration with Jenkins. If you want to trigger your build through Jenkins, you can do that. Then we have an integration with Jira. Uh, then we have Qtest. Qtest is also a part of Tosca, so it is acquired by Tracentis. So you can use this one once you are executing your test cases, and if your test cases get filled automatically, that will going to create a bug for you with all the screenshots and log. Okay, then we have inbuilt reporting, so you can use that reporting to showcase to your higher management that these are the execution reports we have, and these many test cases are getting passed and filled. Okay, and many more features are there, so we will going to discuss in detail. Then we have no scripting is required. Okay, for that, if you think that okay, to learn this tool I have to learn some programming language, like if you go for Selenium, so you have to learn Java, or you have to go for C Sharp, Python, any one tool you should be aware of, then only you will be able to do the automation. Okay, for this one, no scripting is required, so that will be easy if you don't want to learn any new languages. So you can go with this one. So like if any fresher wants to use this tool, they can use, or any manual tester who don't want to go with a new approach or don't want to learn new scripting language, then they can opt for this tool. Okay, and the third one will be a multiple technology support. So like if you're performing certain automation and like web UI or database testing or API, Okay, so under one roof you won't be able to do that. If you are using some open source tools like Selenium, so you can do the automation of only UI. And if you want to go for database connection, so you have to go for the JDBC and all. And if you are looking for some APIs, so you have to go for REST assured and Cypress, and many more tools are there which you can use, but you have to perform separate testing. So if you are using a Tosca, so under one roof you can execute all your test cases end to end. So that will include a SAP, and then we have uh, Oracle. So if you want to execute your test case through database, you can do that. It is having a support of Java. Then we have a HTML. Then we have XML, and then we have SOAP, REST, and many more. I'm going to show you what are the different standard support we have, which is provided by Tosca. Okay. Then fourth is quality vendor support. So as you already know, this is a paid tool. So the vendor support will be there. If you stuck somewhere, you have to raise a ticket, and then they will going to resolve your issue. Okay. But Tosca is a paid tool, and the support will provide by Tricentis is the company. Okay, then we and the fifth feature is uh, easy interface we have this. Okay, your section will all the section will be segregated by this particular things, like we have a test case, then we have a module, then we have execution list. So we're going to see all these in detail. Okay, and then we have a TCD section, test case design section, and scratch scratch book, and then we have the fifth one is the uh, regular update. So every year they launch with a new version. Okay, so a regular update is there. You can upgrade. If you have the license, you don't have to do anything. You just have to download and use the software. So currently we are having around 16 version of Tosca. Okay, and the seventh one is multiple testing under one roof. Okay, so if you are executing database test cases and you want to get some data from the database and you want to use it in UI or in API, that kind of thing we can do. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention one important point, that is TDS, Test Data Service. That is also one of the best feature we have. Okay, so I'm going to show you that as well. Okay, these are the pros we have. Then we have cons as well. The first one is the cost. So it is bit costly, and the licensing of this one start from 7 lakhs to 15 lakhs. Okay, so these tools are bit costly. Then we have a integration. Some of the integration are free and some of the integration are needs to be paid. Okay, like so there is a third party tool called TaskTop. So this will going to provide you the integration. If you want to integrate your Tosca with some specific application, so then you have to pay for it. That is not free. Okay, and the above which I mentioned it over here on line number one, these are the free integration. You don't have to pay for it. Okay, so the third one is the only large scale company will able to afford it. Okay, it's not like Selenium or any other uh, open source tool that you just get an ID and you start with the automation. Okay, so only a large scale company can afford it, and HSBC and many insurance company like Allianz, these are these usually this company banking and insurance domain which is more concerned about the security and all, they are using this tool. Okay, so let's get back to the tool. This is the tool we have. Okay, this is the test case section where we design our test case. Okay, so in this one under this folder we will going to create one folder and then we will start with the test case designing section over here. Okay, then we have a modules. So under modules we will going to scan our page, whatever page we have, so we're going to scan it, create a module. It is having a modular structure in which we will going to create a simple module, and then we will going to use that module. So that scanning will be also very easy, you don't have to do anything. Okay, I'm going to show you that as well. And some standard modules are already provided by Tosca, so you don't have to create that module. Okay, like if you want to perform some Windows based application. Okay, so basic Windows app, like taking a screenshot, if you want to send some value through keyboard. Okay, you want to perform some Windows operation like maximize, minimize. Okay, these kind of thing already provided by the Tosca, you just have to use these standard modules. Okay, then we have a buffer operation if you want to save some value, so you can use that as well. Then we have a evaluation expression. Okay, so it will going to compare your value. If you are having some values and you want to do the comparison, then you can use that as well. Then we have a file operation. You want to create a file, you want to compare a file, that we can do. Then we have a folder operation. If you want to create a folder, delete a folder, all these standard model will help you to do that. Then we have a timing. So if you want to use some static buffer, sorry, static timing, so you just have to mention the time overhead. For that duration it will going to wait, and that duration should be in a millisecond. Okay, and then we have a T-box engine. So these are the standard modules which is already provided by Tosca for .NET database, HTML, mobile, mail. Okay, all these supports are already there. If you want to use it, you can use it. All these kind of technology you can use to do the automation. Okay, so once we will start, we're going to see all these. Then we have a test data services. Test data services is like if you want your data to be globally present so that your multiple machines can use your data, then you have to go for test data services. Test data services is this one we have. So you have to install the Tosca server and you have a test data over here. Okay, so like client provide you some data. Okay, and that data is getting frequently changed. You have a huge Excel. So what you can do, you just have to go to the import and browse a file. So I am having a sample file already. I'm going to import that. Okay, so these are the data we have. Okay, let me quickly remove this one and I'm going to add a new data. I'm going to add a sample from here, and all the data will be present over here, and you can use it from anywhere. So it is using a REST service, so that will be present globally, and you can use all this data. Okay, I'm going to show you that as well. Okay, then we have a requirement section. In requirement section, what you can do, you can use your data, like I have an execution list, and this data will be provided by your product owner. Okay, they will going to mention the frequency of the class, the number of times the test cases are getting executed, and what is the frequency, and then what is the risk associated to that. So automatically that will get calculated. Okay, if I click on this one, so this is the result we have. Okay, so these are the requirement section we don't use generally. This is used by the stakeholder to evaluate the risk and all. Then we have a test case design section. In test case design section, so if you don't want to go for the Excel external file, so Tosca is already providing you with the file. So you can go with this test sheet and you can create your own data depending on the instances whatever you have. So you just have to add an instance and then you can choose a value from that instance. Let me go to this one. Okay, to edit this instead we have to check out this. So if I click on this one, so these are the values we can select as per our requirement. Okay, so this is the test sheet section from where we can pass the data to our test cases. Okay, then we have a execution list section. In execution list section, whatever test cases we have designed over here, so we can execute it over here under the test execution section, and it will going to show you like this one. Like if you are executing your test cases and you have a test case are getting passed over here, so it will going to show you in this fashion. Okay, 3 test cases are passed, so it will show you as a 3 pass and 4 non-executed, and same goes for this one. If your test cases are getting failed, so it will appear in a red color and the count will be present over here. So over here you can execute your test cases and you can logs the details over here. Okay, and if you want to extract the report once your execution is done, you can do a right click, you click on the print report and click on this one. So it will going to ask you in which format you want to print your report. So I want in a PDF format. I'll click on start. It will ask me for the, okay, it will going to process your report and automatically it will going to open that report. Okay, so this is the report in a PDF format. The creation date we have, and you have a summary over here. So how many test cases get passed and what is the percentage we have. Okay, no result is 9 test cases is not yet executed and 4 of them are passed. So you can get a pie chart kind of thing over here. Okay, and you can see the name of the execution list over here. So you can see, okay, how many test cases are executed by whom. This is a percentage and this is the logs we have. So if your test cases are getting failed, we're going to get the logs over here so that it can be get rectified. Okay, so this is all from the execution and the report part. Now we will move to the scratchbook. So if you want to check that okay your module is working or not, so you can execute it over here, but the condition is your data won't be saved over here like this one. If you are executing your test cases, you are getting a log and it is getting saved, but once you restart your Tosca, so your data won't be saved over here. So only for just to check that okay your module is working or not, for a single time execution it will going to work. Okay, then we have a API as well, so you can scan your APIs and you can, okay, let me execute the test case. So I will run in a scratchbook and let's see. Okay, so my test case gets executed over here, and these are the input I have provided, and I was verifying that okay once my API hits successfully, it should give me the status code as 201 created, and actually I'm getting that as well. Okay, okay, I'm going to expand this one and show you what are the input I have provided over here. So these are the inputs. So you have to select the method, get, post, put, whatever you want to hit. You have to provide the endpoint URI, and these are the parameter which I'm going to provide. Okay, so name and job I have to provide it over here, and under response code I'm passing a verification. Okay, please verify the status code is getting generated or not under the response. So this way you can use the API testing. Okay, so that's all from the section side. So these are the section we
Here
will
we
move.
can pass token like auth token and on configuration.
Okay, so we can, for that we can do that as well. Okay, right now I'm not having a value, so you have to add the same way. You have to add a module over here, and under module you have to pass the authorization token. Okay, so that will come under the request only. So one more module needs to be added, that is called as a authorization, and under that you have to pass it as a bearer and the token. Okay, if you are using authentication one, then you have to use the bearer token, else it will not going to pass. Okay,
Okay, got it.
okay. Now we will move to the test case part. So what I will do, I will execute one of the test case and show you how it works. So I have designed one test case. In this one, I will use a standard URL. Okay, open URL is provided by a Tosca. So this is the module we have. So we have to just use this module. Okay, and I will going to run this one, and I have selected a browser as a edge, so edge will going to open first. So there is a task bar which will going to appear, and it will going to show you how much time it will take to execute your test cases. So my browser get launched over here, and it will wait for the application to be fully opened, and then it will going to perform the action. Okay, my test case get failed, so I need to check why it is getting failed. Okay, no matching tab found for enter vehicle data. As you can see, this is taking too much time to get loaded, so that's why it is getting failed. Okay, I'm going to rerun again, or else I have to add a static void over there. So now it is importing all the values which we have mentioned it over there. Okay, so green means my test case get passed, and let this screen get refreshed. Okay, and for the session we will going to use a Zoom call because a GoToMeeting is a bit heavy application and it impact the execution of Tosca. Okay, so these are the things we have provided, and we have added a verification point also, so that we're going to verify. So I'm verifying the cylinder name. Okay, and as you can see there is a green tick mark, so all your test steps are getting passed over here. Okay, so this is the T-box operation tool which we can use, like if you want to verify something or you want to do the comparison, so you can do that as well. Then we have a Excel read. So if you want to read any value, like I want to read a value, okay, I want to verify this value in an Excel file. This is the Excel file we have. Okay, so I'm going to execute this one, and let's verify using Excel. And the condition is that the Excel should not be open over here, so it won't be able to verify your test data. Okay, so it got passed. Let me show you the sample file. So this is the sample file. Okay, and if I go over here and verify that, okay, okay, on the first row I have to verify that VPN and address is PIN-free or not. So it will going to verify. Okay, this is my first row. So if I'm using a dollar, so it will going to eliminate your header part and it will start from here. So these values are present, and because of that I have added a verification point over here. So same goes for this one. So if I go with Amir Khan, so I put a constant over there, it will going to check for okay these values are present or not. So it will going to verify. And the same way, if you want to write the data, so you have to use the same model will be used, but you have to use with the save format. So if you're going to save the value. Okay, so like I want to add a Sahil Khan India. Okay, as you can see, Sahil Khan India, I'm going to remove it and I'm going to save this file and close this one. And when I execute this one, okay, let's quickly go to the result and see. Okay, now it get executed, and let me quickly go to my sample file. Okay, so as you can see, this value is getting added over here. My Excel manipulation is working fine. Okay, so these are the things we're going to see with the Excel. Then we have a data manipulation. So we're going to use the standard modules which is provided by Tosca. So we're going to see if we are able to verify. Okay, like I want to verify this value. The first name will be Ami, the second last name will be Sikandar, and I want to buffer the email ID over here. So we have a database over here. So first name will be Ami, second name will be this one. Okay, so we have to mention the column name and then it will the value, and I want to buffer a value customer email buffer. So it will going to buffer this whatever email ID will be provided under this name. You have to buffer that. So if I run this value, first of all we have to do the database connection, and then only you will be able to make the uh, execution. So you have to install the database in your system, and then you have to make the ODBC connection with your Tosca, and then only you will be able to perform the action. Okay, so we have to verify that this email ID is getting buffered or not. let the execution gets completed. Okay, my execution gets completed over here, and I will go to tools and click on buffer viewer, and let's see what was the name. Yeah, this was the name, customer email buffer. So now it get buffer with this name. So you can use this value wherever it is required. Okay, any questions on this one? Okay, so then we have a reusable test step block. So if you want to have a multiple values, so you can add it over here. So we're going to see this in details. Okay, then we have a recovery scenario. In recovery scenario, what will happen, like if your testers are getting failed due to some pop-up or that one, so you can use a recovery scenario and you can add your modules over there. So it will going to look for that particular pop-up, and it will going to help you to recover your test cases if your test cases
Yeah,
are
one more doubt.
yeah, please.
Yeah, in DB, how to run the query through Tosca?
Okay, so under standard module we have that. Okay, so this is the SQL statement. Select star from customer. Whatever statement you have, you can put it over here, and that it will get executed. And then under the table section, you can verify the details. If your query is wrong, so it won't be able to verify the details over here. Okay, first you have to query your statement and get the data, and from that data you can do the verification over here. Okay.
Okay, okay. Then how to compare the DB result as well as the UA result, whether the data reached successfully?
Sorry, can you please come again?
Yeah, how to compare the DB and UA application result?
So you have to come, like if you hit this, first you have to go to
Compare,
your
yeah,
database.
comparison.
Yeah, so first you have to
Okay,
go to your database, you have to run the SQL and get the data. Once you are able to get that data, then only just copy and paste that SQL statement over here, and the same value which you are getting it over here. So you can do the
okay,
comparison using a verification point. As I have added a verification point, your first name should be Amir, the last name should be Sikandar over here. The first name should be Amir, and the second value should be this one. Then only it will going to capture the customer email. Okay, so I have added a
okay,
verification point over here. The first name last name should be this
mhm,
one, then only it will going to buffer the value in a variable called customer email buffer. Okay.
okay.
Okay, so we have a recovery scenario. We're going to recover. If you want to go with the if else
One
one,
more
so you
doubt.
can.
So
Yeah,
I
please.
feel it is too fast. So all the modules will be explained in detail in the further classes, right? How it is?
Yeah, so we have already covered this March batch. Okay, so I'm just going to explain you what are the features you will going to see in detail.
So
Okay,
each
so
and
these are the
everything,
yes.
each and
So
everything
each
is
and
related
every
to each
topic
other.
will be covered on a single class and
Hmm.
followed by the assignment. So for every topic, the assignment will be given to you. So you have to perform so that you can get to know more understanding on the module section. Okay.
So it's a
So
overview
every
of how the tool will look like, right? Right
yes.
now in this
So
session.
what are the things we are going to cover in the later section? Okay. Then we are having a conditioning. If you want to go with the if else condition, so you can add a condition over here and you can perform the criteria. Then we have a while. So if you want to go with some looping mechanism, so you can use a while over here. Okay. And there is the same repetition is also there. If you want to perform certain tasks, the number of times. Okay, like I want to open my browser. I will go over here. Okay, the repetition is over here. the number of time want to repeat that particular module, so you just have to mention the details over here, how many times you want to execute. Okay, and then we have test data services. This is one of the way. Okay, so if you want to create a data in a database, like, okay, I want to create a data, test data services is there. This is our test data services. Okay, I want to create some data. As you can see, Tosca server India is not present over here. Okay, and I want to create that data. So what I have to do, I have to use the standard modules which is provided by Dynatrace. So I will go to this section and use a TDS section. Okay, I'm going to use a create and provide. This module will be used. So what I have to do, I will go over here and execute this one, and let's see if we are able to, under the sample, we are able to create this data or not. So my test case get executed over here, and I will quickly go to this one, and I'm going to refresh this one. Okay, and I'm scroll. Okay, now you can see Tosca server India is getting created. The test data is getting created or not. Okay, if you want to fetch the data, so I will go with this one. Okay, I want to fetch the data and from the sample. So this is my sample. Okay, the repository name is samples. From that, I want to fetch some data, like I want to get the value. Okay, I want to buffer the value of address. Okay, so what I will do, I will put a constraint over there from where you have to get the value. From the first name will be Amir and the last name will be Khan. So first name will be Amir and the last name will be Khan. From these two value, the address will be get fetched. Okay, so if I execute this one, the two models will be used. First model, it will going to find this data is or not. Okay, using a test data services, this value is present in that or not. And the second module will be used to get the data from the sample dot address. So sample means your uh, test data sheet name needs to be there, and from this one you have to add a column name. So I will going to execute this one, and let's see if I am able to buffer the address or not. Okay, so it gets executed. uh, okay, let me check. Okay, tds address. So under tds variable, I'm going to get the variable name as a nigli. Okay, so I'm go to my Tosca and buffer viewer and see tds address. Okay, this is the tds address. So this is my variable and this is the value from which, from where we are getting, from here we are getting Amit Khan, and address is nigli. Okay, so this way, using test data services, you can update the data or you can fetch the data. If you want to fetch the data, you can, we have a standard modules. Okay, so again we have to add the constraint over here. I want to update my value. Okay, under Amit Khan, I want to update the name. Okay, I want to update the address as America. Right now what we have, Amit Khan as a Nigadi, this one. So I want to update this one. So again, I have to use the same two modules. First of all, we have to find the values, and the second, we will going to update the values. So I'm going to execute this one, and this value should get updated once my execution gets completed. Okay, my execution gets successfully completed. Let's wait for the result to be refreshed. Okay, that is done. I'm going to refresh this one, and let's see if we are able to get the data or not. Okay, I will go with Amir Khan and America. So my address get executed over here. Okay, my case is successfully get executed, and my address get updated over here. Okay, and same way we can, if you want to delete, so you have a standard model of delete, you can delete the data as well. So you have to again search the value. Okay, I want to delete the Amir Sikandar from my this one, so it will get going to get executed, and it will going to delete the data. So you have to mention the specific value over there, then only it will going to delete, or else if you are not able to give the particular value in a correct format, so it will going to delete all the values which are present in your test data services. Okay, so you have to be specific for which row, for which column you want to do the updation and deletion. So my this value will going to get deleted once the execution gets completed. And let's see. Okay, let me refresh this one. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so earlier it was having count of 8, now it is 7 over here. Okay, my value get deleted from here. Okay, so that's it from the test data services. Okay, so we have done the integration with Jenkins as well. Mm, okay, so my Jenkins up and it is running. For the execution of Jenkins, what we have to do, we have to close the Tosca commander. So we have to do some settings over here. Okay, I will go with the execution list and add the parameter over here. Okay, continuous integration parameter needs to be added, so that Jenkins will get to know that okay, which folder I have to do the execution. Okay, so I'm going to execute this folder. This will having a two test cases. Okay, so it will going to get executed. So what I will do, I will do check in all, and I will going to close my Tosca commander, and let's see if we are able to execute it through Jenkins or not. Okay, because Jenkins also required a license, so if you are not if you are not closing the Tosca application, so it won't give them the license to execute. Okay, Okay, now my Tosca gets closed over here. What I will do, I will go to build now. Okay, let me show the configuration to you. What are the configurations we have done? Okay, so these are the configurations we have to do. We have to pass the URI of, I'm using a Windows batch command, and you have to pass the exe of the Tosca CI client. And if you are running on a local, so you have to make it as a local. Okay, that's it. And that configuration will be sufficient to do the execution, and that two parameter needs to be added over there. Then only it will going to fetch the data. Now I will do the build now, and as you can see, my execution gets started over here. I will going to click on this one, and I will go to the console and see what are the steps we are having it over there. So I will click on the console output, and it will going to give me more info about the execution. Okay, starting local execution, and it is getting the licenses. Once it get the license, then it will going to execute. And meanwhile, all the details will be provided, which version of Tosca and all it is using. Okay, that will be displayed over here. So once it will be able to acquire the license, the execution will going to start. Okay, now it got the license. It will look for the repository. Okay, now it is able to find the repository. Now it will going to look for the execution list that it needs to execute. Okay, so we're going to check out that folder in which you're going to perform the execution. If the execution is successful, then it will going to get passed or it will going to fail the build. Okay, so meanwhile the execution is happening, let's see. Can we add a response data of one request for, yeah, we can add that. So what you have to do, so you have to first buffer the value. Okay, whatever data you want to pass it to the other test data or any services, so you have to buffer that and then you can use it. NoSQL database also like MongoDB, no, it is not able to handle the NoSQL database right now. Maybe in future they will going to provide you with the NoSQL, Mongo or some other database. So currently it is supporting MySQL, then we have Oracle database, then we have SQLite database. Okay, these are the database. MySQL Server, this kind of database is getting supported right now. Okay, I think I have to add a simple scenario for the execution because that is a end-to-end scenario and the scenario is quite huge. So it is taking that much of time to execute the scenarios. Okay, the execution is done. Now it is creating a report and it is closing the workspace and restoring the license so that again we can open the Tosca and do our work. Let's see if it is getting passed or failed. Printing the result and that will be saved under the XML. Okay, now Jenkins workspace get closed and now it will go to, yeah, now this build is successful. As you can see, green mark over here, finished success. Okay, any questions on this one? Okay,
Amir,
so I
I
will
have a
quickly,
question like, would we get this Jenkins overview? Because like I do not have Jenkins idea.
okay, so you have to install Jenkins on your local machine and then you can do the integration. And in organization level, you will already get the Jenkins pre-installed
Mm-hmm.
by the infra team and you just have to do the configuration.
Yeah, after configuration we have to do something like what you did, reporting and all. These only the configuration part will be covered, or what all we can perform with the help of Tosca in Jenkins, that also would be covered.
Yeah, so whatever configuration will be required to execute your test cases, that will be covered.
Okay, so does it means like what does Jenkins do? Uh, rerun the execution from Jenkins and produce the report. That's it. Or anything else do we use Jenkins for?
No, that's the thing. Like if you are having a unit test cases, okay, in
Uh-huh.
Tosca, and you want to perform execution like you usually what we do in deployment side, we add our test cases, and if your test cases get passed, then only it will going to deploy the build on your certain environment like QA, dev, prod, UAT. Okay, so these are the things which get added through Jenkins and it get executed. If your test cases are getting failed, it will going to fail the build and the deployment will going to stop. Okay.
Okay, so from Jenkins, we are doing deployment in the environment, and if
Yes.
test cases fail, then the deployment does not happen.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, one more thing, like here, which course you are covering from
So I'm going to cover the AS1 and the AS2, all the topics.
AS1
And
and AS2?
yeah, these are the extra topic we're going to cover, the TDS part, and then we have integration with Jenkins and all. We're going to cover.
Hmm.
These are the extra topic because this is mostly asked in the interview that have you done the integration with all these. So you will be able to answer all these questions.
Okay, and one more thing, like we will be reusing the modules which are already provided by Tosca, right? So
Yes.
real-time application, it's very complex and there are too many things to handle while creating new modules. So how to create modules from scratch? So how much detailed it would be from your end?
Yeah.
Why
So
I'm
we'll
asking that,
in
because
yeah. So yeah, please go ahead.
why I'm asking is, with like in real time application is really very complex, and that time like
Yes.
creating modules we will be struggling, because what Tosca is giving while doing the practice is that they are giving simple application where we do not have other things to handle, and only in, topic by topic things are getting covered in the course. So that's what means, like for real time application, like I want to know about how to this create module thing. How would be your approach?
Okay. So there are different scanning approach will be there. It will be a by property, that will be a simple one. Then we have an anchor. Okay, so using a reference of another element, we're going to create that, and then we have index. Then we have a parenthesis. Okay, by image. All this we're going to see in detail in our
Mhm,
course. Okay, so how we can scan the modules. If one of the approach is not working, so how we can switch to the another
mhm.
approach. Okay, and what are the challenges we're going to face, so we're going to see that.
Okay, and
Okay.
suppose like in Tosca, we are already seeing that if we are pre-using the existing modules, then
Mhm,
the action mode sometimes come as select or sometimes verified like that. So is there
mhm.
any way that the already existing modules we can modify while creating our test case?
No, the models which are provided by Tricentis Tosca, you can't do the modification in that model. Okay,
Okay, okay,
so you have to create your own module to perform the certain action. These are the standard
okay,
modules which is provided by Tosca, so you can't do any modification on that one.
okay, fine.
Okay, so from tomorrow onwards, you're going to see the scanning of module and all. Okay,
Okay.
any more questions you have? Anyone?
Yeah, how many years, I asked you on the chat also, like how many years of experience would we would be able to show after doing this course?
Yeah, you can
If
showcase
we
as
complete
3+. Yeah, 3+
if we
experience will
complete
be
all
sufficient.
assessments, 3+ experience we can show, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
How about the
Anyone else?
certification and all? Certification of Tosca?
Yeah, so I'm going to provide you the link. So you have to go through, you have to register yourself first, and then you can opt for the certification. So two certifications is free from the Tricentis. Okay. And once you will get into the organization, you can do the remaining certification for free. Or else, if you have to pay for that all the certification, and that is bit costly. Okay, so
So
I
how many
recommend you.
certifications total? Three
There
or
are
five?
around there are many certifications like AS1, A2, TDS1, TDS2, and then AE1, AE2. Okay, there are so many certifications are there. Okay, but two certifications are free: Automation Specialist 1 and Automation Specialist 2 is free, provided by the Tricentis Tosca. You can opt for them, and many of the organization they usually look for these two certifications so that they should ask you question on these topics. Okay, if you have done the certification, so you have cleared it properly or not. Okay, so the recommendation will be you have to go for this. Once the course is done, please go for this two certification. This is usually asked in the organization, and you can.
Assistance will
Uh,
be given for the exam.
no, I won't provide you the assistant. I will just the topics will be whatever will be going to covered. I will going to cover that, and uh, in certification as well there will be videos, and there will be assignments. We have to complete that as well, and after that only your exam will going to get unlocked. Okay, so in that certification also you will going to see all the videos and perform the assignment, then only you will be able to do the certification.
So how long is the duration to complete that mandatory things to unlock the exam?
It will be around 1.5 hour videos will be there, so you have to see all the videos, and then only your exam will get unlocked. Okay, any more questions? Can we integrate Tosca with AWS services? Yeah, we have an integration with AWS services. You can hit the services from the AWS. And some more questions are also there. How to create a model from scratch while building new application? Would we get an assistant? How to remove complete scenario will be covered so that many of expenses. Okay, I think these are asked by Khushbu only. Okay. Okay, any more questions you have? If we don't have anything, so we can good to close this call.
So, how is the market requirement on this? Means in the initial stage, you explained that very big companies are affording this tool, right? So, how is the calls or opening positions for this tool?
So mostly banking and insurance domain company and entertainment domain companies are using these tools. Okay, and apart from that, currently I think Amazon is also working on Tosca, and they have a requirement for Hyderabad locations. So these are the new requirements we have for Tosca.
Okay, so the project for reference that is getting picked will be one among these domains, right, by you?
Sorry, can you please come again?
So, for project explanation, right, for us to gain the knowledge. So, among these
Yeah.
domains itself, one of the project will be there, or someone else. It's a very light, basic project.
So we will going to perform all the required tasks which will perform on the project basis. So we will going to perform on any applications. Okay. So I will going to
Okay.
explain you the topics. So the topics, whatever you feel like in which application you are comfortable with, you can do the hands-on. Okay. If you want to go for some Amazon site, or if you want to go for Flipkart or any applications.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
totally
Sure.
on you. The how the more the complex application, the more learning will be there.
Yeah. Got it.
Then you will get to know that okay, how to handle certain things. So that will be kind of a real based scenarios. Okay, I'm not telling to do hands-on on any specific application. So whatever you feel like, okay, I am a bit more comfortable with this application, or I'm having a certain scenarios we needs to be covered, then we can cover that as well. And on a daily basis, we will going to cover the issues first, and then we will start with the session. Okay, whatever doubts you will have, I'm going to see that, and we will try to resolve that first, and then we will continue with the session. Okay, and on the basis of that, I will going to give you daily assignments, whatever topics we will going to cover, and that topics will be that assignment will be discussed first, and then we will. So it's not mandatory. It's for your benefit. If you will be able to complete the assignment, it will be beneficial for you. Okay. So as you are a professional, so I can't force you to do the assignment and all.
Training would be 15 hours only, Amir.
Uh, 15 hours will be a basic one. So as we have
Hmm,
included a bonus section over there, so that will be goes till 20 hours.
20 hours.
Yeah,
Total duration of
because
this
we
course.
it will be a
How many days?
it will be a 15 hours course. So it will be more than 3 weeks, 1 hour per day. Okay. Any more questions
Is
you
there
have?
any notes for modules like how to create test case and how to associate existing module to that test case? Is there any notes for that, or it's only practical?
It will be a purely practical session. Okay.
Okay.
If you want, you can get it through Tricentis official site is there. So you will get all the documentation from there. But it is of no use if you are not practicing and doing the hands-on on the actual application. No one will going to ask you the theoretical part. Okay. Any more questions you have? Okay. So I will take it as a no. And from tomorrow onwards, we're going to start with the new session, or maybe day after tomorrow. Okay. So Anita will going to inform you on a chat section. So please try to join them, and we will going to cover all the things in a very detailed way, and the assignment will be provided side by side so that you can do the hands-on. Okay. And once that is done, so I will going to explain you how to get registered and apply for the license once the enrollment is done. Okay. So Tricentis Tosca will give you a free trial license of 60 days, and in that you can perform all the hands-on activities. And if you want to get extended for more days, so you can again redeploy your license. So I'm going to explain that as well. Okay. Okay then. We are good to close this call. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Have a good day.